Welcome, my name is Jose Posada. I'm a senior clinical data scientist working for the Stanford Center for Biomedical Informatics Research and Research IT at Stanford Healthcare. Today, I'm going to cover tutorial 4, part 6 of the Stanford Medicine Tools for Healthcare Data Science. In particular, we're going to cover how to create cohorts using the Node NLP table. Let's get started. First, we're going to start with a notebook we mentioned in tutorial 4 part 1 when we started defining a cohort for a set of patients with a delivery procedure. Here we're going to check for the node ID we selected prior how many annotations this particular node has. In this case, we count the number of annotations given a single node ID. We have 340 annotations. We already mentioned the main difference with full text search. And then let's see how this delivery use case gets enhanced with this. First, let's note that we can directly subset the annotations from the set of nodes we found before. We do a simple join, and then we create a temporary table with only the subset of annotations that pertain to the cohort we already defined. And this is very important because the node NLP is a very large table. Then the question is, how do we know if we are actually finding more in these nodes? Then let's check. First, we see we are going from the table that contains all the annotations for a given set of nodes. Let's see whether for the concepts that are domain procedure, whether any of those concepts that have the term exist y are actually in the procedures we subset in the past. In this way, we should only be getting the ones that are not already in that table, thus those procedures found in the annotations are not part of the structured data associated with that particular visit. Let's see, do you think we find anything? Yes, we find a lot of them. Even some of the procedures that you may think are in the structured data, they are not here. However, a word of caution, some of these concepts may be very similar to the one in the structured data, and for some particular reasons in the ontology, they may be slightly different. So I'm very happy that we're finding things different, but still, this needs to be reviewed to actually find the ones that truly represent the set that are not found in the clinical, in the structured concept. Then, do we find conditions that are not in the conditions associated with those visits? Same procedure. We filter by the domain condition, and we say the term exists should be y, and then we take all the conditions found in the prior steps and see whether any of the concepts here are not here. And then here we have, there are a lot of concepts that are here. And actually, those are, for example, this influence of neoplasm of uncertain behavior of the breast may be actual concepts that are mentioned that are associated with the patient, but not necessarily mentioned as part of the visit. So this is very important. We are not restricting to the longitudinal history of a particular patient, but we're restricting to what is associated with a particular visit. You may expand this set of queries to collapse and collect everything associated with a particular set of patients and see if we are getting a distinct set of concepts that are not mentioned anywhere in the entire history of the patient. Then, as a bonus, let's check also the drug exposure. We just do the same thing, filter by domain ID drug, and then we get all the drugs we found in the past, and we found that we actually get a very interesting subset of drugs here. Some of these drugs could be prior drugs taken from the patient that were not administered during this visit, and it's very reasonable that we're finding them because usually they shouldn't be part of the visits associated to the delivery procedure. Now, what happens if we want to expand the cohort, as we want to do? Then we can define a hemorrhage concept set. Because if you remember, in the clinical notes, we were trying to find concepts or mentions associated with blood, with hemorrhage. But here we have the power of the ontology to do an expansion if we want to find things related with hemorrhage or with bleeding. That's what we do. We construct this concept set using the ontology. And then instead of coming out with all the possible terms, we use the concepts found. We use the NodeNLP table to find this. In this case, we restrict to only the hemorrhage concept sets, and voila, we get a lot of concepts with term axis Y and no that are actually part of what the NodeNLP is finding. And here I resize the power because some of these events are mainly maybe poor coded for many reasons. You know that billing usually drives what gets the most coded. So it's very interesting that you can expand your cohort by tapping into the node table that has been already converted into the structure format. There is an optional topic of how to build a TF-IDF for using the NodeNLP concepts. But here is the end of this tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed these 6 parts. And if you have any questions, we are here for you at office hours, or just shoot us an email. Thank you for watching all these videos, and hope to see you on our future in-person tutorials, virtual tutorials, office hours, and Atlas office hours. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
The preceding program is copyrighted by the Board of Trustees of the Leland Stanford Junior University. Please visit us at med.stanford.edu.